Weigh in now is Florida Congresswoman Cammack. Congresswoman Cammack, thank you very much for joining us. Do you know any additional information about this today? What's happening behind the scenes?
You know what's so frustrating is that one of those planes that is being grounded right now, being told that we cannot take off, is a group of my constituents, a group of folks that my team has been working for weeks to try to get out of Afghanistan. And when I called the State Department, no answer. When I call the Joint Chiefs, they say it's a State Department matter. We are completely out as far as a military operation. So you have the legislative branch doing the executive branch's job because they just simply cannot get it together. It is so infuriating what has transpired over the last few weeks. And it is pure BS for the Secretary of State to say that they are unaware. I could provide email after email after email, voicemails, call transcripts that my team and even myself, I have made to assistant secretaries over at the Department of State. They need to get it together. American lives are at stake, and they need to actually take responsibility for an operation that they took over from the military when this administration decided they were going to completely withdraw from Afghanistan with zero plans. They need to get it together.
And what can you do to help that process? Now, we've seen stories, Congresswoman, that the Taliban may be asking for something in return, but it does sound like there's a bottleneck also at the State Department, just what you're saying. They're not even blaming the Taliban right now, correct?
As far as I know, they are not. They just simply are not responding. And we know that this is turning into a situation where the Taliban is going to be looking for something in return for releasing the planes from the airport. That is exactly what this is teeing up to look like. And I'll be damned if the United States continues to give and give and give to a terrorist organization that has no business being a legitimate government. We cannot recognize them for a legitimate government. We cannot give them foreign aid. We will not do any of those things because they already have $85 billion worth of our weaponry, and there has been zero accounting for their actions. They have been beating Americans. They have been executing translators. I saw a video where one of the translators that was working to help my group of American citizens and SIVs get out of Afghanistan, he was kidnapped, beaten, and executed by the Taliban. I have this video. Now, the Taliban is going to try to leverage these Americans that are stuck in country, including one that we have been working with. He is a son of one of these SIVs, and he's an American. He's 4 years old. He is sitting in that airport right now, and they will not let that plane go. This is what they're going to do. They're going to leverage American lives in return for either legitimate recognition of their government or additional arms and aid. We cannot let that happen. Every American needs to be on the phone to their congressional member today, demanding that we stand firm, get our Americans out, and refuse to accommodate any other requests from the Taliban.
Yeah, it's my understanding the Taliban is requesting visas for all of those people that are on the manifest to get on all those planes, whether they're on them or not at this point. And when it comes to the State Department not answering, we just had an interpreter on our show yesterday who's been trying to get his family out of Kabul, and he said he hasn't been answered by the State Department either. Congresswoman, though, I do want to pause here, though, and get your take as we approach the 20th anniversary of 9/11. As we know, your husband is a firefighter and a paramedic. So as we come up on this anniversary, we're back there in Afghanistan. We've handed it over to the Taliban. We've emboldened them. We've made them stronger, as you just pointed out. How do you feel about everything that's happening?
I'm just disgusted. You know, my husband and I were talking about this over the weekend. He became a firefighter in large part because he watched 343 firefighters run into those buildings and give their lives to save their neighbors, their coworkers, their fellow citizens. And it's a really, really hard anniversary to stomach. I'll get emotional thinking about it right now. It has become really the basis for why we do so much in this country, why so many people turn to service, be it in the military or as a first responder, to see what has become of the 20th anniversary, a purely political outcome by the Biden administration, not rooted in sound foreign policy or a positive outcome. We now are just stomping on the service that so many have given. And my heart breaks for all the Gold Star families. It's incumbent upon us now more than ever that their service and their family service never be in vain. So,
And thank you for, I'm sorry, go ahead, Congresswoman.
No, I was just saying it's pretty disturbing, pretty disgusting, very emotional for several first responder families and for Gold Star families all across this country. And to any veterans listening right now, your service was certainly not in vain, will never be. And there's an army of people out in the United States that are going to ensure that your service matters.
Absolutely. And you're among them. Thank you, Congresswoman Kat Cammack. Thank you so much.
Thank you.